Welcome to part 2 of Chameleon at Home for Kids. We left off with a tour of the Wind family and heard Deb, Nancy, Gary, Damien, and Steve express their emotions with their instruments. Now, we'll visit the homes of our string players. Unlike the wind instruments, the stringed instruments look very much alike, except for they differ in size. They each make a sound by drawing a bow made of horsehair across a string. What I find really cool about these instruments is how they rest against your body, and when you play them, you can feel the vibrations from the instrument very intensely. It's like your body becomes part of the instrument, sort of like with the wind instruments, except from the outside in. Robyn plays the violin, and hers is actually older than the United States of America. She plays one piece of music that she likes to play when she's having a happy day, a second piece of music that she plays on peaceful days, and a third piece of music that she plays when she just feels silly. Scott will show you how much he loves the viola, making siren sounds and bird sounds, barnyard animal sounds, and then he plays a piece called Machine. Rafi loves playing an instrument that he calls the true chameleon because he can play all sorts of different roles within the groups with his friends. Guess what instrument that is?
Hi, my name is Robyn Bollinger. I'm a professional musician and I play the violin. This is my violin. The violin is a member of the string family of instruments. It's the smallest member of the string family. You're going to see some other members of the string family a little bit later on. You're going to see a viola and a cello. But first, I'm going to show you a little bit about this violin. This violin is actually really special. It's really old, and that makes it really fancy. It was made in 1697, so it's even older than the United States of America. And I'm going to show you up close because the wood is so beautiful. I especially love this one piece back. You see how there's no seams anywhere. Those little lines are just part of the wood. Now, if you imagine the violin like a person, this part is called the neck. That's really what it's called. And these are the shoulders. This part up here where the head would be is called the scroll. And it's called that because of the really pretty spiral shape. These are the pegs and they tune the strings. There are 4 strings. They go from highest to lowest, E, A, D, and G. The strings are held up by the bridge, this part here. Then down here, you'll notice this is my chin rest. This is where I put my chin. Then on the back, this part is not actually connected to the violin. This is called the shoulder rest. And that's just there to make me comfortable. Now you may have noticed I was holding a stick. That stick is the bow. And the bow is kind of the secret weapon of the string family. The bow is made with special Brazilian wood, and it's called Pernambuco. Can you say Pernambuco? We're gonna say it together. 1, 2, 3, Pernambuco. Good job. The hair is horsehair. It's made from real horses, real horsehair. It's stretched out, and then they put it on the bow. This does not hurt the horses. It's already gone from the horses by the time it goes on the bow. There's lots of different sounds that you can make with the violin. You may have noticed me pluck the strings. And that's called pizzicato. Can you say pizzicato? 1, 2, 3, pizzicato. Nice. You can pizzicato with your left hand like you just did if you're feeling fancy. But most of the time, actually, we do pizzicato with the right hand. It's a little louder. But if you really want to make a loud sound, you use the bow. The horsehair draws the strings to make beautiful vibrations. Ready? Here we go. Some of my favorite things about being a musician are that I get to play with different people all the time, so I'm always making new friends, and I get to play great music. I also normally get to travel a lot, so I get to see all kinds of places all over the world. But since we're all staying home right now, I'm playing to you today from my apartment in Brookline, Massachusetts. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite things to do on the violin. And some of those things are about expressing myself and expressing different feelings on the violin. So one of my favorite things to do is to play happy and excited music. This is a piece by Bach, and it's called Preludio. I also really like playing slow and pretty music for those more peaceful days. This is a piece called Meditation from Thais, and it's by a French composer named Jules Massenet. And sometimes on the violin, I just like being silly. So I'm gonna play you a piece now that sounds like an animal, and I want you to guess what kind of animal it is. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the violin.
Hello, I'm Scott, and I play the viola in the Chameleon Arts Ensemble. I know you've heard about the violin and how it's played from Robyn, so I'd like to tell you a little bit about the difference between the violin and the viola. You can see the viola is bigger than the violin, And so it has a lower and deeper and a little bit more mellow voice. In fact, we have 7 notes that go below the range of the violin. So you can hear it's a deeper and more mellow sound than the violin. Now, composers use the string instruments to depict sounds that they hear in everyday life, from bird calls to whistles, to sirens, to barnyard animals. Now, there's a composer named Elliott Schwartz who was from Maine, and he wrote a piece for the viola called Machine. And he doesn't say what kind of machine. He only says that at the end of the piece the machine breaks down and stops.
Hello, my name is Rafael Popper-Keizer, and I'm recording this for you in my apartment in Cambridge. I've been with Chameleon for almost 20 years, and playing the cello for almost 40. Like pretty much anything else, music is most wonderful when you're doing it with friends. And one of the really fun things about playing in a group like Chameleon is that there are all kinds of different combinations of people and instruments to explore and enjoy. Now, the cello is a very versatile instrument, and so in each of these different combinations, I get to play different roles or do different jobs, depending on who I'm with. Some days I might be holding down the lowest foundation of the sound in a string quartet, or playing beautiful duets with the violin in a piano trio. Other days, I might be supporting a sung voice, or making atmospheric effects in a larger ensemble. And I think that's one of the things I love most about playing the cello, is its range and adaptability. It is a true chameleon. I have two short pieces to play for you today. The first is by an English composer named Benjamin Britten, written about 55 years ago. This is a short movement from a large and complex suite, and the reason I chose it for today is that it shows off the cello's ability to play like a guitar. We call this pizzicato, an Italian word that means plucking the strings. This is the Serenata from Britten's first cello suite. And by the way, the word serenata, or serenade, suggests a piece played as a declaration of love, classically from a balcony outside a bedroom window. I'd like to invite you to imagine what someone's reaction might be if they received this piece as a romantic serenade. Do you think they would be happy, or confused, or very surprised? I hope you enjoy it. The next piece I have to play for you is a traditional lullaby from Catalonia, and this piece became very famous through a great cellist named Pablo Casals. Casals was the most famous cellist of the early 20th century. He was born in Catalonia, in Spain, and although he traveled and toured all around the world, his homeland was always very important to him. When he was about 60 years old, there was a civil war in Spain, and the country fell under the regime of a dictator, Francisco Franco. Under Franco's rule, a lot of democratic freedoms were taken away, and the people of Catalonia were persecuted, and their culture repressed. They were not even allowed to publicly speak the language with which they had grown up. Casals was heartbroken at what had happened to his beloved country, and he went into exile. From then on, he would begin every concert he played with this piece, and it became a symbol of both his grief and defiance. This is the Song of the Birds, made famous by Pablo Casals in my own arrangement.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the string family and got a sense for how we express our imaginations through our instruments. Now here's something you can do yourself. Take a rubber band and loop it across a jar, or any kind of thing that has an opening on one side and is closed on the other. Place it across and pluck away. I love doing that, and it gives me a special feeling. Up next, you'll meet the other chameleons, our pianist Vivian, our harpist Francisca, and our percussionist Matt. See you then.